Yeah, don't worry, I'll actually put some effort in the intro this time. Ahoy! So we've had our first proper game of SeaFall, and not a lot has changed, though there is a couple of things that I want to talk about. So firstly, a user by the name of Marcel has commented on our original SeaFall video with the unofficial captain's log, a huge Board Game Geek page of rules clarifications for seemingly the entire game with spoiler tags over future games. I'm amazed by this tool. I'm a little bit annoyed that it had to be used in the first place. But anyway, head straight there. I wish I put it in my original video because this is an astounding piece of information that you need. And secondly, in our prologue game video, I said you couldn't raid. You can raid places, you can't raid each other, and that's the same for the first game, although, you know, I'm kind of glad I missed it out, because at least I have something to talk about here, and all of those of you that wanted to move on to see if I corrected myself like the idiot I am, well, I got you to watch the next video, so who's laughing now, eh? Raids are completed via endeavours, i.e. dice rolling. When you explore an area, you can't explore it again, and it's usually stickered over with a resource that will produce year on year. You can either pay for that resource fairly and squarely, or you can raid that section and nick it for free. The bad side here is you're going to piss off the locals, look fairly notorious, and load the island with enmity tokens. Your bastardhood obviously creates friction. It increases the price of items for every token you have, as well as decreasing the dice you have for future endeavours on that island. Every token you have online can also be made permanent throughout the entire campaign, though they can be rolled away with dice. Even though it gets you free stuff, it's not a preferable option in the long run. But that's mainly because you don't get to look in the captain's bookie if you act like a villain. But seeing as you're likely to spend most of your time in the prologue exploring and covering up these spaces, it becomes an option you kind of have to take after a while. I feel it's important that I tell you that we're not really playing the game competitively, but kind of cooperatively. Well, not cooperatively, we're just happy having fun exploring and gallivanting around. We've mainly focused on the captain's bouquet because we want to fill up every single sea space on the board. We've also been cheering each other on in some dice rolls. A new card in an event deck filled with positive and negative effects is revealed every round, but there are some cards in there that are absolutely horrible to one person. Unless they succeed in a magnificent dice roll, they take a really hefty penalty, which is good for everyone else, and yet every time somebody else gets it and has to commit to it, we all find ourselves cheering them on, because really, we just want to see that card die. I like it, but it's weird, and it feels like that's not how we're meant to be playing the game, especially as our trade routes are beginning to close off and we're going to have to start raiding at some point soon, genuinely being douches. It just feels like the game's going to slap us on the wrist or slice it off with a cutlass once we get to that point. The good times aren't going to last forever, and I'm willing to accept that, but I feel like it's an important point to make, because some of the more negative reviews I've been reading feel like they're coming from people who are playing to win the game, and you know what? Can't knock that, quite rightly so. I've seen some people bet their household pets on this thing. I've seen people say that some tactics don't work, some mechanics don't feel fleshed out, and more worryingly for us, a huge aspect of the game that provides you a massive amount of points, milestones, basically become overwhelmingly irrelevant. Milestones are things I can't really show you, but are one-time objectives that once someone completes can grant a huge amount of points to you, as well as potentially unlock one of those mystical locked chests in there. Ooh. The first game comes with a good catalogue of these, but we blitzed through them because we want to explore absolutely everything the game has to offer. It was our main focus rather than gathering points to actually win the game. It sounds a bit daft, but it's where most of the enjoyment from the game's coming from, so we don't really mind. It's just that I worry that we're going to run out of them, and if that happens, the resource management of this game is going to have to stand on its own 2 feet, and I'm worried about what's going to happen if it gets to that stage. Of course, it's very easy for me to say all of this. I do currently have, like, what, a 4-point lead over everyone else. I'm not particularly proud of it, but humble brag. So I think the easiest way to grade this as we go along is simply asking each member if they're having fun or not. And yes, everyone in our group is still having fun. It's just we don't really like blowing stuff up, and it looks like we're going to have to do that at some point soon, so oh well. Right, if you don't like spoilers of any kind, now is the time to close the video. Although, if I'll be honest, I think you should be a bit daring and come on over, not because YouTube analytics isn't some kind of trick, honest. But mainly because, again, nothing has really changed on the board, and I'll be talking more about our experiences and our own little in-jokes rather than the actual narrative or mechanics of the game. Still, I won't blame you if you turn away at this point now. I won't take it personally like I will in every other video. So, 3, 2, 1. This is the click you should be paying attention to because I'm going to skip to the table now. Not much has changed, apart from this spaghetti junction of ships in the middle. Although now I come to think of it, even though I said it was a fun game, it was filled with nothing but regret. In the prologue, this island here started filling up with tons of spice, and that continued onto this game. Now, because of this, a majority of us wanted to call it something appropriate, like Nando's. But unfortunately, someone a lot more responsible than us, i.e. my wife, got there first and decided to call it the Golden Isle. What an adult. Whilst I did say we were kind of playing cooperatively, there is one rogue that's going around trashing islands, albeit completely by accident. William the Lasher does seem like the knobbish, laddish type that would use the term cheeky Nando's unironically and kept annoying everyone on the Golden Isle. Oh, come on, we missed an opportunity there, we could have called it Nando's. Here he managed to amass 4 enmity tokens just by exploring. It's weird, even by consciously not trying to be a bad guy, he's still coming up as a douche of nature. However, at the end of the game, he managed to roll all of those tokens away. He just comes in, pisses everyone off unintentionally, then waltzes off the lovable tyke. He's like a seafaring Mr. Bean. We're also slowly entering the process of naming our ships. It's something we want to be comfortable with before we put pen to board. You can imagine how long it took to actually find a name for each of our characters at the beginning. It was something like a decade. My tiny boat is called Finch, which I thought was quite fitting, seeing as our brand is all about the birds. Now, I'm terrible at naming things, it's why I don't have a child, but I was quite proud of this, even though I just realised I need to be quite careful with alliteration from this point onwards. I mean, I'm Felix IV, who founded Frostmain on the Finch. I mean, it's only a matter of time until players start to make fun of me, saying, oh, aren't you from Frothwild? Although they've got no right to laugh. Look at all the glory points I'm hoarding, which I'm actually kind of worried about. As I came first in this game, it means I'll be going last in the next, and that does worry me a tad. I feel there's a huge advantage to going first in this game. SeaFall felt like a race right at the beginning, especially as we all had objectives to direct ourselves for, and we all wanted to be first to get there. And being last in that race feels like, well, it feels like your gun's not being shot in the air to mark the start of it, more straight into your ear. For the next game, I think we're going to hang back just a little bit. Not go for a huge win, but also do enough not to attain an atrocious loss. Although don't tell anyone I'm playing with that, but why am I putting this on the internet? So that was game 1 of SeaFall. For us, more in-jokey rather than mechanic developy. However, now that our to-do list is completely clear, we've unlocked a bunch of stuff that'll hopefully mean the next episode has some more spoilery Clutterfield Sea for you. If you want to see that, be sure to submarine scribe. And if you want to keep up to date with the terrible nautical jokes I seem to be inserting in every single video subconsciously, this is all part of the bigger playlist of just pure awfulness. So until next time, sail away. Boom, bum, bum, bum.